According to Sennheiser, these are the best pair of earbuds on the planet, but this video might just completely prove them wrong. Alright, because today I'm not here to read the specifications of the box. But to share my experience living with these, replacing my premium Bose QC earbuds. Everything just to give you the definitive answer if these are worth your money or not, especially in 2025. Okay, inside the box you don't get much extras. There are some papers, earbuds, charging cable, silicone fins and some ear tips of different sizes. The case design is honestly not what I expected. I was a bit worried that the fabric coating would stain or cut itself, but even after using it for so many days, daily traveling, it still looks shiny new. Well, not really shiny because of the material, but if you carefully notice, it is actually very clever. There are no chances for scratches or smudges, while at the same time, it makes the case stand out from the huge plastic-faced crowd out there. The hinge quality is also great. The earbuds do not rattle inside the box. There is a LED indicator, USB-C port, and if you keep this on your Xiaomi 15, it will start charging. The only problem that I had is the case size. It is a bit on the chunkier end, and it will poke out quite a bit, especially if you wear jeans. But what about wearing the earbuds? The main problem that I used to have with my past earbuds is this shape. It just falls off very easily. The Momentum 4 TWS, however, because of this ergonomic shape which fits exactly into the ear cartilage like a puzzle, gives a very confident snug fit. It is a gram heavier than most cheap earbuds, so it is very slightly noticeable when you switch, although very much wearable for extended duration without any issues. The design, personally, I think is very flashy. Not in the wrong sense, it doesn't look like an alien spaceship, but they are really digging into the metallic look, so not really inconspicuous like the Bose QCs. Nevertheless, I am happy that they are not trying to be too safe, because that just makes everything boring. But none of these matter, because as soon as you see the Sennheiser tag, you already know the star of the show is going to be the sound quality. This is one of the very few TWS earbuds to support CD quality lossless audio. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. The level of clarity in this thing is literally insane. But there is a catch. It is not magic. The earbuds can't add details itself. The audio you are trying to play must also support lossless technology. And thankfully, there is a huge catalog of music across different services already available with that support. It is one of the things which you are definitely going to stop noticing in the long run, but it sure does impair your ability to switch to a mediocre pair of earbuds. Other than lossless, you also get a few more codec support. But the interesting part is most of them are a bit unusual, and I would say even clever. Like instead of LDAC, you get aptX adaptive, which solves the latency issue in LDAC without compromising on audio resolution. SBC and AAC, while present, is superseded by LZ3, which boosts efficiency, delivering the same audio quality with 50% less bitrate than SBC. And all of these have one thing in common: the incredible Sennheiser sound signature. Neither it is clinical grade flat sound, nor does it boost the bass or treble heavily. It hits this sweet spot in the middle. But the more interesting part is the sound personalization. Sennheiser runs a couple of tests by playing different instruments, and you need to customize which instrument you'd prefer hearing more through the slider. The entire process creates a sound profile that is uniquely tailored to your ears, that you can further fine-tune to your own needs. And mind you, this thing is really addictive. I have a pair of Momentum 4 headphones, and they also have the same option turned on for my ears, and I just can't get enough of them. If you're looking for a pair of earbuds that are well known for their sound quality, I think the Momentum 4 is the perfect choice. But what about ANC? Okay, so far the Bose QCs have been unbeatable in terms of ANC. If you didn't know, premium headphones emit sound waves opposite to external noise to try and cancel them out. The Momentum 4 has got 6 mics in total for that, and I can safely say that they are as good as the QCs. Some even say it is comparable to the QC Ultras. It manages to provide that near silence experience, especially blocking the low frequency noise like AC noise, the rumbling engine of a car, or inside the plane. I used a decibel meter app on my phone for testing. What I understood is you won't hear much of anything below 60 decibels. I went out regularly wearing these. There were car noise, noise from a jute mill, construction site, and more. In most cases, I could faintly hear some noise, but when I removed the earbuds, I understood how loud the actual noise was. It is also very comfortable. It does not create that strange vacuum effect that you get in cheaper earbuds. But the best part is the adaptive nature of the ANC. These buds can listen to the amount of noise and determine the level of ANC that would be applicable. And that means two things. One, the ANC sounds natural, and two, it extends the battery life of the earbuds. But like I always say, there is one thing that can completely completely break the ANC, making it unusable, and that is wind noise. Sennheiser has just the perfect remedy for that. You turn on this and done. But in real life, I never had anti-wind turned on, since the wind noise rejection is very good in the bass ANC option itself. Okay, for the next part, I need you to do something for me. A very simple exercise. Just block your ears with your fingers and then try to speak something. You notice how weird your voice sounds? That is occlusion. Okay, remove your fingers. Now, why is this relevant? When you turn on transparency mode, the sound captured through the 6 onboard mics are let in so that you can hear more of the surrounding. But one major problem is your ear canal is still blocked by the earbud. This creates a very weird effect when you speak. Sennheiser has engineered their Momentum 4 TWS to try and solve this exact problem. This is the reason why the transparency mode sounds natural even when you speak. But the main problem here is the wind noise. This thing captures a lot of it, especially when you are outside. You also can't turn on the anti-wind feature in the transparency mode. Connectivity-wise, these are the most future-proof earbuds on the planet. With support for Auracast, these earbuds can connect to public announcements, TV broadcasts, or even help in assisted listening. But there is a catch. The entire world is still trying to catch up with this technology, so pretty early days as of now. You can try it yourself at home. For example, some smartphones like the Xiaomi 15 supports Auracast, so you can broadcast audio to nearby multiple Momentum 4s at the same time. In terms of pure Bluetooth connectivity, it is very reliable. I have never experienced any dropouts, especially since it has an impressive range of over 25 feet. The dynamic roll switching between the two earbuds is a very clever implementation, which I think is a prime reason for the reliable connection. And yes, they also support multi-point connectivity. You can connect up to 2 devices at the same time, and it instantly switches between the two. It supports Siri, Google Assistant, and even Gemini. One of the most significant advantages of owning a Sennheiser is their low latency. You might remember in the audio section I mentioned how Sennheiser not only cherry-picked codecs based on their audio quality, but also gave equal importance to the latency factor. But that brings in one issue. The latency is so low in the normal mode that it makes no sense to bring in a separate low latency mode. But honestly, I was a bit wrong here. Especially when you play games, it becomes more noticeable. And that is where the separate low latency mode helps. But here is also something that annoys me a bit that I will bring up soon. Okay, finally, let's talk about the pairing app. There are a lot of things that I like, and frankly, a few things can still be improved. There is the sound personalization feature, which I have already covered. You might want to do this a couple of times to get the perfect settings. Next is the sound zone feature. Based on your location, the earbuds can automatically toggle settings like ANC or transparency modes. Whenever I leave my house, I want the transparency modes to turn on automatically, so I'm aware while walking on the street. There are touch control settings that you can customize in each of the earbuds, settings to turn on advanced features like Auracast, a find headphones feature which shows the exact last seen locations of each earbud, battery eco mode to save on battery, smart pause, auto answer calls, even support for different languages for the earbuds voice prompts, along with the option to set their loudness and a separate battery protection mode similar to ones we get in modern smartphones. You also get different sound profiles, presets, and of course the 5-band adaptive equalizer, which adapt automatically based on the volume. I personally love it. Everything is very easy to navigate. You see, the user interface is made for people who do not have much knowledge about audio, so they can easily navigate. But that is also the problem. Sennheiser prides itself to be audiophiles' favorite, but if someone is deeply invested into sound or audio engineering, they would want more controls, like specifically setting frequencies they want to change, edit the Q factor, and more. For my use case, I love the app as it is, because frankly, I would prefer Sennheiser engineers to do everything for me. Actually reminds me how Clarkson said in one of the episodes of the Grand Tour that too many options to change too many nitty-gritty things in modern-day performance cars is like the chef bringing the food ingredients to the table and asking for you to cook. No, you cook it. That is what I'm paying for. What Sennheiser can do is just add an extra advanced mode for such extra controls if someone needs them. Another problem I faced is switching between different audio quality. Every time you do that, you need to restart the device. It isn't a big issue, but honestly it can get annoying. Talking about resolutions, let's also talk about the catch. You get 4 different options to switch among in the app. Now, higher numbers do not mean better quality. If you take aptX Adaptive, for example, it claims to support audio bitrate and sampling rates up to 24 bits and 96 kHz, and mathematically across 2 channels that comes up to over 4600 kbps. But aptX Adaptive only supports for 20 kbps in its higher limit, which is less than 1/10 of the raw bitrate required. This is where lossy compression comes in. Qualcomm intelligently discards audio data in real time, based on the limitations on the human hearing before sending it over Bluetooth, so the difference is not very noticeable. Now that you know about lossy compression, let us keep it aside and talk about lossless compression. aptX Lossless can deliver mathematically bit-to-bit exact CD quality audio 16-bit 44.1 kHz over Bluetooth through lossless compression, which results in much better quality at the endpoint. Now, about the catch. Most phones can't transmit audio in lossless. And forget about lossless, not even in aptX Adaptive. The S24 FE that I currently have, for example, can't transmit at lossless or the peak sampling rate even in lossy bass aptX audio, which itself is different from aptX Adaptive, by the way. S24, S25 or even the top-of-the-line Galaxy Ultra Snapdragon variants intentionally do not support aptX Adaptive in favor to promote their own Samsung Seamless codec, that is SSC. So make sure to do a quick Google search for your phone. The Xiaomi 15, however, does support aptX Adaptive as well as lossless. But to stream at the highest possible sampling rate, you still need to visit the settings page because initially it is capped at 48 kHz. Let me show you. First, make sure your earbuds are connected. Next, open the settings page and turn on developer options. For Xiaomi 15, you need to tap multiple times on OS version. I already have developer options enabled. Now you just need to open it. You may just search and open the page like I'm doing right now. Now scroll down to the Bluetooth settings. Here under Bluetooth audio sample rate, select 96 kHz. In my case, originally 48 kHz was selected. And under Bluetooth audio bits per sample, select 24 bits per sample. And done. By the way, this often gets reset when you disconnect the earbuds. Now about the microphone, currently the earbuds are connected to the Xiaomi 15 and it is connected over a call with the S24 FE over there. The audio is recorded on the Xiaomi 15 itself because this has the Qualcomm Snapdragon SoC, so I guess it has the best compatibility with the earbuds, that is the Momentum 4 TWS. Currently, I'm in a very quiet environment. The air conditioner is running, so you might get some wind noise from that. I'm also going to play some noise from here, so it gives a better idea how it cancels external noise. It's playing on my iPad, and I can add some extra wind from the side with my trusty fan. Okay, let me hold it so it hits the earbuds in a better way. And this is how it sounds with the maximum amount of noise and environmental disturbances. Obviously extreme, like always, but yeah, you judge the quality. Last but not the least, we also need to talk about the battery. It varies greatly because there are a lot of variables at play. There are 4 different types of resolution, like I mentioned just before, ANC, transparency, and even a separate battery saver. What I noticed, high resolution, for obvious reason, drains more battery. Like 1.5 hours of lossless music listening with ANC turned on, followed by 1 hour of call with transparency mode eats up to 50% of the Buds battery, which in turn takes up 20% of the case battery to charge up to 100. Switching to standard resolution increases the battery life significantly, whereby 3 hours of continuous listening even with ANC on resulted in a 20% battery drop, which this time took 10% of the case battery to go back to 100. I kept a note of such mixed use cases, especially focusing more on the audio quality, and by the end of 12 hours of solid listening, we were down to our last 50% of the case battery. And it also charges up very fast, so according to Sennheiser, 8 minutes of charging can give you 1 hour of playback. By that, we have finally reached the end of the video. If you're looking forward to purchase a really good quality audio product, the Momentum 4 is a very good recommendation from my side. And this is also a really great time because if you're from India, the Diwali sales are coming up soon and these earbuds will be available at the lowest price ever. I have all the links provided in the description below, and this video was done in collaboration with Sennheiser, but all opinions are my opinions and this was a completely honest review. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.